morning.
Good morning. We are up and early. It's 5 o'clock in the morning. We're at the mouth of Pancake Creek, ready to go to Gladstone.
Yay.
We've timed it so we have the tides. So from my prediction here and everything, when we get up and have a cup of tea, we go. So we predicted the tides both ways, but we want the tide for Gladstone to come into the port there, so it can run nice and help us on the way in, rather
Get
than
an extra couple of knots rather than go against it.
Rather than go against it and have a hard time on the way in. And it's nice and still outside. We've got a forecast of probably 6 knots just on the beam, so it shouldn't be too bad, but we'll have our motor running and hopefully a bit of tide, and maybe we'll even catch some fish on the way.
Heading to Gladstone, and we've got very light winds, calm seas. Kicking back, 'cause that's what you can do when the conditions are great. Beautiful sunrise, and there's a shipping anchorage out here. Once we get to Gladstone, we'll have to navigate around the ship.
Only got 4 knots of wind, so unfortunately have to motor, but we should get a bit of tide assistance. And there's somebody fishing, and hopefully we might catch a fish. Probably not.
So I have to radio Gladstone Port Control just to let them know that we're coming into the harbour, and that just to make sure we can find out any shipping movements. Gladstone Port Control, Gladstone Port Control, Gladstone Port Control. This is sailing vessel Time Flies, Time Flies, Time Flies, over.
Time Flies, this is Gladstone ETS, good morning.
Good morning. We are approaching your channel marker number 12, and I just wanted to get some shipping movements, over.
Romeo, Time Flies, I can see down there, approaching Sierra 12. We have the vessel Energia Centaurus outbound, currently passing, getting towards German. Please maintain listening watch on 13 and 16 and keep well clear of the Energia Centaurus.
We'll do Gladstone Port Control. We draw 1.7 metres, so we'll stay out of the channel. We may have to cross it to avoid the warp, over.
Romeo, 1.7 metres, and we'll stay out of the channels. And thank you for your information and have a good day.
You too. Stand by on 16. Time flies out. Done. Forgot I was filming. Got to find our berth. We're G14 with purple caps.
Okay, at Gladstone Marina, we're going to go for a ride because we don't have any cold beer left on the boat.
Whose fault's that? I didn't drink it all.
You drank a couple of them.
Get ya. Oh, he did. We've been in Gladstone Gladstone Marina now for a week, and we've been waiting and waiting for some winds to die down so we can go out to Great Keppel Island. We're actually going to go via the Narrows. Before we do that, we're going to go and anchor in Graham's Creek and then navigate the Narrows the next day, and then we'll anchor up at Pacific Creek or Deception Creek. Goodbye Gladstone, thank you for having us. Inbound ship, we're just waiting for him to go down so we can cross the channel and get out of the way of the ships. The entry to Graham Creek. So we've just set anchor, or we're in the position of setting anchor now. We're just waiting for the tide to swing us around at the moment. And if you look in the distance, the mangroves, you can see how high the tide is going to rise. Dean's setting up his new little lure, and it's rubbery and jiggly. Catch a fish, darling.
Sausages and onions, and we're going to have some mashed potato as well. And Fiona's going really well on her game. How are you going with the game? Did you pass the level?
No.
No? Oh. It's now transformed into a sausage curry casserole thing. We're leaving Graham Creek, just going up on the last bit of the incoming tide, and we're going to go up the Narrows a little bit further, so just before the Narrows. It's in Swan Island. So we're anchored just behind Black Swan Island. This is where the Narrows begin. We're going to observe the tides tonight, and then in the morning we'll make our passage through the Narrows. So that's Black Swan Island where we're anchored behind. It's 9 o'clock in the morning. Well, 9:30 now, isn't it? And we've got the whole day to do.
I think we might have a pajama day.
Yeah, well, we've got the whole day to do nothing and just observe the tide before we go tomorrow. So we got some mosquito coils going because there are a few bugs. And I learnt a lesson last night not to leave the mosquito coil on the deck of the boat because it falls over.
Good morning. This is beautiful. This is high tide, or coming into being high tide. So it's time to head towards the Narrows. There's a boat going up there now. Looks like a catamaran, so they can go a bit earlier than us. He's pulling up the anchor, using his muscles.
Okay, we're going through our first marker through the Narrows at Black Swan Island, and we're a little ahead of time, so we're going pretty slow at the moment. All is well and good. Fiona's got her sailing shoes on, and she's taking some video.
Had a dolphin across our bow. Maybe he'll come up again.
There he is. 4.2 metres of depth.
We're supposed to be
And
1 metre.
at low tide this is usually 1 metre, so we would be touching the bottom. Okay, we're now passing Boat Creek, which is where the two tides meet. So we had the tide assisting us in, and now we've actually got a bit of tide against us. So we're a little early, but we're just on time, and it's just about high tide now. And then we'll get a nice tide flowing out, hopefully, a little further up. Okay, so we're going through some shallow stuff now. Doing well though, we've got plenty of depth. 2.3, this is the shallowest we've got so far. So we have to stick to the markers, the beacons, and we should be right. Here comes a cat.
So 2.9, 2.5. Got a bit of a tight spot here to give him a berth. He's got no mast. 2.5, we're looking good. 2.6, looking good. 2.8. Now we're lining up the leads to come in. There we are. So we've passed the cattle crossing, and now we've got the tide taking us out a little bit. We're doing 5.9 knots at the moment, so the tide has started to turn, and yeah, we can still have to navigate our way out of here, but we can probably relax a little bit now. So this behind us is the entrance to the Narrows from the other end, so we've come out of there. And we have made the decision to continue on to Great Keppel Island because the wind is nice. We have sails up, and it's the first day of spring.
So in the distance there is Great Keppel Island. We've got a nice reach. Doing 8 knots with a bit of tide assistance.
Nice little beach over here. We're going to check out this anchorage and see what it's like.
Coming into Great Keppel.
So here we are off Great Keppel Island. We're on the south side at the moment, anchored. And if you look closely, you can see our anchor chain down there. The water is pretty clear. There's Dean swimming. to go and explore the lagoon, which is that way. We're in the lagoon. We saw a whale breaching out there before. It's pretty cool. Gonna be a nice evening. We're gonna have a fire on the beach. There's a little barbecue area up on the beach here. So we're gonna go up there and have barbecue chops and sausages. So it should be good.
So we're loaded up. Got a few drinks, got food, got torches, got the wife. Just missed that bit. We were dragging the boat up the beach because slow tide, but the tide comes in very quick, and we're gonna see if we can use their fire. With a cold beer and the sun setting, that wouldn't be bad at all. So this is the way it should be. I'm sitting here drinking a beer and Fiona's fetching the water. I'll have to help her in a minute. Oh, doing a great job there, love. There you go. Costs you nothing, this too. People pay money to go to the gym for that sort of exercise. Everyone's going to think I'm lazy.